Oh, right. Well, we got there in the end. I'm sorry for everyone watching that it's my voice is heard on stream. I've just turned the stream up, so it's going to be doubled. I've turned it down, and we're in. Welcome. You've missed 10 minutes of quali, but we're back. We're finally here. I don't even know who to watch because there's just so much carnage going on in this commentary box. But yeah, welcome to Portugal, round 7, tier 4. We've got 7 people in the stream. Welcome everybody. Long time coming, 10 minutes. I'm unsure on whereabouts in the league and who's up there. But that'll just make it more fun for everybody, won't it? Because it's dead off the cuff, and we'll just play about with it. We've got Pio. We'll watch Pio. He's on his fast lap here. No pressure if he is watching. 10 people in the stream. Big up. Yellow flagging set to 2. I'll put all the things on so everybody can see it. Looks like an Alfa Romeo there in sector 2. Is it drone? No, he's in the pits. We'll go back with PO. Try to break into that top 10 here on this lap. We'll see how he gets on. Pole position currently is Bailey for the 117.4. And then his son is in second. 2 tenths off him. Interesting to see who gets the rights of the house of this battle. keep watching my PO. I don't really know my Formula 1 if I'm being perfectly honest, but we need a stream, and I got called on. So here we are. PO gets into 5th with a 1:17.7. And have we got anyone? We've got Aussie on an outlap. I've got Gay and F on Lucky, the two Hasses on an outlap as well. Melvin's just gone out. Me Man Moody has just gone out. Oh, lawnmower. Got a lawnmower there. Who's on a fast lap? We'll watch Ash. We'll watch a Williams. Mr. Booth, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Watch out. Is Ash coming up to the line here? I think he is. Formula 1's the winner, I think, to be honest. But I was once in this tier, and looking at it, I thought there's no chance I'm going to get anywhere near this top 10 in a race. Never mind in the championship, with some of the pace that these drivers have. For my level anyway, all the tier 1 boys, if there's any in the stream, they'll be laughing their heads off. I'm calling it pace, but for me, they're just unreal. We've got first retirement of the session. It's the Maverick. I'm not sure if is he happy? Is he retired in the pits? He must be happy with 13th. To be honest, I would. So I do anything for Com Racing League. Do anything. Let's watch Scott, because I think Scott's still in the party. I'm unsure, to be honest, but he's on a fast lap.
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
He is here, so let's just put a load of pressure on him whilst he's on this fast lap. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Scott, but if you're an F1 driver, you've got to be handling the pressure. But 9th though, mate, 9th. Not bad. On the wheel as well. On the wheel. We've got a good ratio, I'd say, of wheel to pad. I know Scott's on the wheel. Farrell's on the wheel, I believe. Is he setting up a tent in them pits? I've not seen him out on track yet. Bailiff's still on pole. As he second. We've got Indian Jesus and Matt Rowney. 2 Ferraris, 3rd and 4th. They'll be happy with that if it stays like that at about 9:20. Lovely Ferrari fan myself. Charles Leclerc for the championship, I think. Big call. Just under 3 minutes left of qualifying here, so everyone in the pits will want to get out, which will make for some exciting. I'm just trying to get my head around who's where in terms of finishing. It looks like we've got a Haas that's coming up to finish. It's starting a lap, and then we've got a Mercedes starting a lap as well. Sorry for flipping through the cars, I don't really know who to stay on. But I've got Zenon, or Drone as I like to call him, who goes pole. 400ths off Bailiff, and his Bailiff setting a lap himself. We've got another lawnmower there. Wee Cammy spends more time off the track than he does on it. I don't think this is a fast lap from Bailiff, so... no, it isn't. It's 40 seconds over. Shaden retired. In 8th, is that on track? No, it's in the pits. He'll be happy with that. And we'll watch his teammate here, who I believe's on a fast lap. We've got Chugs has got a 5-place grid penalty. It's just a shame because he's in 10th. We'll carry on watching Ozier as he comes up to the line. Can he knock his dad? Oh, can he knock his dad off? Or can he knock Drone off? No, he can't. Goes faster, but not fast enough. Got a big up from Matt Rowney in the chat. His teammate Indian Jesus crossing the line, who goes pole. A 1:17.1, and that will be tough. Indian Jesus actually wanted to commentate tonight as well. If he was doing, I don't think he'd have put that lap in. Oh, we've got Farrell. Farrell will go second. Nice to see you, Farrell. Nice to see you, you know, pull your finger out and join us on track. And he goes second with a 1:17.2. And we've got, is that P.O. coming up to cross the line? No, I think it was Wooburn crossing the line. I'm sorry, I can't. We've got Bailiff. Bailiff on a lap. It's 2 seconds up. And he goes pole with a 1:17 dead. Knocks Indian Jesus off the top. And I think that is the end of qualifying. I don't think we have anybody else on a... Oh, who's that? Wow. Facing the wrong way. I think Matt is on Matt's on a lap here, and he's got a viewer in the chat, so we may as well stay on him. You know, all about the viewers. So we've got, just looking at people who've finished here. Craigo finishes 9th, solid from the Mercedes there. Chugs, although with that 5-race grid plan, I don't know if that was, it was more than likely accidental or Codemaster's fault. Unfortunately, can't get that took off him. Retirement from Farrell, I'd be happy with 3rd. Drone not improving, same with Ozzy. Don't know if... Is Matt on a lap here? He was, but he does go quicker. But just can't quite get into that top 6. No, freefall is not on a lap, and I think, well, me man Moody, just get into the pits, lad, just get into the pits, and I think that is qualifying over, so Bailiff will start on pole, Indian Jesus in 2nd, Farrell Fury 3rd, Drone or Zenon 4th, Aussie RL 5th, and it'll be actually Matt Rowney who gets that 6th place because of Jug's good penalty. And the boys are just making their way around to the pits. 10 people in the live stream. Love to see it. Oh, it's gone down to 9 now. Well, you're the one missing out, so whoever that person was, whoever's just clicked off, you know, you might be watching a better video, but I doubt you'll find a better one than this stream right now. So I'm hoping I get joined during the race from either Scott or Hedge, who's in Tier 3 racing. I don't know how he's getting on, but I want them both to do well, but at the same time I do want them to crash and join me, because it's tough to keep it going on your own, you know. We can actually grab Scott. Scott, you there? We can grab Scott.
I'm here, mate. I'm here.
How did you find that qualifying then?
Well, personally, I got my first lap in a little bit of a banker. scruffed up the next 2 runs. Definitely had a few more tints in the tank there, but it is really a tricky circuit. I'm quite surprised that Kami going for his best lap on the mediums, because we are due some rain about 10 minutes into the session, so expect a lot of drivers to be switching to the inters at the end of the first stint, probably before the tyres are even going. So, but solid lap from Bailiff. He's been up there all season. Him and Farrell, Kami as well, actually leading the championship. Indian Jesus, Aussie. There's a mixed bag of ability in here, but there's a lot of contenders for you.
Yeah, there is a lot of fast drivers. I was just saying that before. You're looking at, you look at real life F1, and well, they're all quick, but there's 1 or 2 that are always up there. But in this, you get probably 8, nearly 10 that you find will always be up there. And with that rain being thrown in, it'll be interesting to see the strategies. You say Kami on the mediums, but he could have picked his tyres anyway because he didn't finish in the top 10. Or he might do.
Yeah, so going by...
He might do, actually, because of Chugs. Well, Chugs will go 11th, won't he? Because Chugs got a 5-place grid pen.
Even with the grid pen, Chugs will be restricted to his tyre compound, because he did technically qualify in the top 10, so he'll be set in. Looking at the MFD here, expect rain anywhere between about lap 9 and lap 12, so softs will just be starting to die off then. Be an interesting take, though. Maybe some of them will opt to go for the mediums, take it a little bit further. We'll wait and see, but you'll be the man with all that info in just a second here, Chimp.
I will. I've got my menu up. There we go, on the formation lap. No doubt people will knock into each other. Always happens. I'm going to put a bet on Craigill to be the first to be disqualified, or part of that group anyway. Because at the end of the day, it's tier 4. Someone's going to hit into someone.
Going to give you the first little tidbit of the day. The initial I am stupid award should go to myself, because I'm starting on mediums when I intended to start on softs.
You're just giving it about Kami starting on mediums, and then you've gone and done it yourself. There's a nomination.
The fuel.
There's a nomination.
I tell you though, I should be in for driver of the day already. Columns and driving, that's unprecedented.
I mean, I'd like to be in for the best commentator award. I don't know about the 11 people in the stream, but I'm up there. I've got to be up there for entertainment. 13 in the stream now. Big up. Unlucky for some, not for Combe Racing. It's not. Actually got no. Who's that at the back? Grace Game Centre. Me man Moody is far away from the back. Bailiff's not going to be happy with this.
I'll jump as we round the final corner for this formation lap. I'm going to go silent on you. I will still be here, and
that is fine. I won't call on you. Don't worry. Unless you crash that, then you can join me.
Unless you crash out. If you see that little CRL freefall has hit a wall button, you know I'll be straight back in me. But best of luck, mate. I'm looking forward to listening in.
Bailiff to win from the start, says Atom. It'll be some drive if he can do that. Good to see you, Atom. Nice to know you're still with us. 14 people in the stream ready for this. We'll ride on board Farrell, I think, just so we can get a good look at the front two. And the lights, 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. A great start from Farrell. Looks like he's going to have the inside of Indian Jesus falling way behind. Might even fall to 5th here if Ozzy can get the dive in, and he does. A little bit of contact there. We'll see about that later on. But a great start from Farrell, and he's right on that gearbox of Bailiff, and we've got a yellow flag. I'm not sure what's happened there. drone looking to get past that Red Bull. We'll have a look and see position changes. Indian Jesus down 3 from that start. Farrell, Zenon and Ozzy all overtaking him, although he has just got past Ozzy. And we've got Shaden TV, who's up 5 into 7th. And he seems to be getting on Wuban a little there. Who have we got now? We've got Freefall down. Oh, we've got, was that Maverick? I just saw someone spin out. Who's that? Maverick. It was Maverick. No. Don't get disqualified here. Don't get disqualified here. And he's back with us. 15 in the stream. Watch Ash on the back of Scott Gay here. Ash on the faster tyre there, but you can't see him. We need to get past him. Scott speeding in the pit lane. Rule number 1 of speeding in the pit lane club: don't speed in the pit lane. Scott's down 7, Maverick's down 5. Drone, I'm not sure what happened to that. I must have missed something because he's down 11. I was just looking at the midfield battle here. Shaden TV is up 6 now. And Wuban finds himself in a McLaren sandwich. Got a penalty for Craigo. Multiple warnings on lap 2. Sort it out, Craigo. Come on, in the Mercedes as well. My former car, that. We'll keep an eye on Shaden here. See if he can get past Wuban and join his teammate. 4th and 5th. Well, Atom said it in the chat. If he was doing it after 3... Oh, evening, Atom. If he was doing it after 3 laps, you'd be right. You'd be right, Atom. You'd be right, because Bailiff is holding on. It is rain. We've got rain after 10 minutes, I think, but it has come pretty early, because I got told it was 9 to 10 laps. 9, 12 laps, I think. But,
that was the initial forecast by Jeff, but second sight that it is raining fairly bad. Starting to get close. Expect intervals probably in the next few laps, Jimp. Obviously,
yeah,
approximate forecast.
I've got splash
Jeff's
on
made a
yet,
little bit of a rip.
Yeah. Hope we've got Indian Jesus, so he's doing plenty of spins. It's not a great start from the Ferrari. Either of the Ferrari boys, really. With Matt Rowney falling behind the front runners a bit, and Indian Jesus down 11. You wouldn't expect that. After that bad start, he only fell down 3, but to fall down 11. It's not great. And Shaden does find his way into 5th. I assume that's because of drone, maybe. Oh, and Ozzy. Another spin. Wouldn't be surprised if people start heading into the pits soon enough, because it seems that this weather's hitting them. Could we be on for a shock winner here with this rain? So we've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. It's Reverend Melvin. He's facing the other way. And he gets back on track. And Kame finds his way past Craigo into 6th place. Is Craigo going to come back at him now? Nope, he's falling behind. Indian Jesus, he's overtook a few there. F1 Lucky, Ozzy, and Ash, just as I caught him, he's gone for a little twirl. Why not? Why not, Ash? You do you. You do you, mate. Big shout out to Greg's Game Centre, who's up 8. Lend it after 5 lap. We'll do a 5 lapper, Greg. How's that? You can take your 8 places. Yeah. Everyone's spinning. This rain is really getting to people now. really get to people. We've got to see some people pitting soon enough. Chugs and Drone swap places, the 2 Alfa Romeos. We've got the first pit, and it is Craigo. He's going to find his way into the pits. And Greg's game centre does join. It's been in the pit lane. Greg, first rule has been in the pit lane. Don't do it. And I think the rain has just got heavier. So we'll be seeing the back 9 racers be going on their mediums. And now you've got to be careful of the double stack here, because everyone will be coming into the pits. Assume it's not done. And you have the likes of McLaren and two Mercedes, I think. Oh no, Craigo's pitted. So it's just McLaren that have got to be careful of the double stack, and Ferrari. No, I'm not sure if any of these lads are in parties together. But who knows? They might be handling the tyres, better than others. But this rain is really starting to get heavy now. I'm not sure if we've seen splash on tyres yet. I can't really tell. Pit stop may decide the winner. It might. That's why Farrell Fury. What's the first rule of being in the pit lane? If you've got the stream on, listen to me. And we've got the top. Yeah, everyone's pitting. Indian Jesus. Oh, no, I can't even say it. There's the rule book. F1 lucky, by the way, up 17 places. He is still on his mediums, though. Is the Haas. But I think... Was there a double stack? I think they avoided the double stack. We'll get off the position changes for now. Everyone on the intermediates. And I've got the first DNF, and it is PO. Coming up, we've got VSC.
Little spin around turn 10 there, just losing an exit, it seems.
Yeah. Strange, because he had pitted. Maybe just try to warm them it was up a bit too much. Or just quite not adapted to him in time, and he's paid the ultimate price. And it's a DNF, and he's left. He's livid. He's PO. But he'll be back next week, fighting. Did they both get 5 seconds out? I think everyone who's got a penalty now, apart from I think it might be Craig. I think Craigo's got 3. We'll have a look, actually. Craigo's got 3. Maverick's got 3, but the others are all speeding in the... wee Cammy. Drive-through penalty speeding in the pit lane. He doesn't surprise me at times, Cammy. He doesn't. And I know that he'll be in a party with Mark and Hedge right now. Mark Wilson and Hedge. And he'll be fuming. He'll be absolutely fuming, and he's serving it straight away. I think he's the right. I'm not sure how long the pit lane is there. I don't think it's not the shortest. It's not the longest. I've got another penalty there. Ash, who picks up 3 seconds. Although he is on the back of the Maverick here, and you wonder, is he going to have the pace coming into turn 1? I think he will. He's got. No, he's backed off. I'd have sent it there. Oh, he's done well there, Ash. He's done well there to avoid the Maverick. Bailey for another penalty. Oh, he is leading the race. But he's being let down here by these penalties, especially the drive-through. The drive-throughs, it hurts. The drive-through, doesn't it? It's not. It hits you. It's not great. We've got any on-track battles. We've got Matt Rowney and Wuban. I think are the closest, are they? We've got Drone and Melvin as well. We'll go back up to Matt Rowney. Matt Rowney's not usually one for a dive bomb, so it'll be interesting here. Don't think he's going to have the pace anyway. He's not. Time penalty. Aussie. Chugs on the back of F1 Lucky. I think F1 Lucky's got the quicker tyres though, so another penalty for the Maverick. I think that's doubled his pens now. I think he's yeah, he's got 6. But the struggle that is, I think I don't know what it's like in other tiers, Scott, when you were racing, but seems to be a lot of penalties. If you can just stay clear of pens, you'll be looking for a good result. I know Hedge did that a lot last season, tier 4 champion. He just stayed clear of them. Obviously, you still got to have the pace to back it up, but he stayed clear of them pens. And you know, you look at Shade and Matt Rowney and Wu Banner with the pens they have around them, the two up top having 8 and 5 respectively, Bailiff and Farrell, and then Indian Jesus, Craigo and Aussie all having pens 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, absolutely. It tends to, as you go higher up the tiers, it affects you more and more because the gaps get tighter and tighter. But especially for these guys, if we get a late safety car, it's just going to regroup up the pack, and suddenly you've only got 2 or 3 laps maybe to build that gap with the 3 seconds, and it can really, really destroy your race.
Scott is multitasking. Don't think anyone could pull it off quite like a Scotsman.
Uniquely talented, mate. There is a reason I'm in P19 though.
Because you're commentating.
That and the small fact I lost the front wing, but well, ignore that part.
No, I'll get you some TV time coming along the main straight here, mate. Come on.
Give you a little wiggle.
Yeah, a bit of screen time. I appreciate that, mate. And let's focus on Scott Gay and the Maverick. Is there any fights further up top? Oh, look, Farrell. Oh, within a second of Bailiff. So we'll have DRS coming down. Oh, he won't have DRS because it's bloody peeing it down. You know what? Big shout out. I know he's not in this tier, but big shout out to Hedge for not DNFing yet and joining me on the comms. So we're coming up to a third of the way through this race. 10 laps. 23 to go. Bailey for the great exit there. Out of turn, I want to say 4. Could be turn 4, 5, any number. Put a number on it. F1 Lucky. Picks up 3 seconds. And that's another one of the top 10 who picks up a time penalty. Craig on the back of Aussie here. It's great seeing battles in the rain because you might get that one person that, you know, doesn't quite hit the brakes. You might see a crash. You don't want to see a crash, but you know, a bit of contact, a bit of wheels there. Trevor was close to the back of the McLaren there. Now he's dropping off a bit. Ten Alfa Romeos have just swapped. Then really, is he struggling? He usually shows good pace when it's raining, but he's in 10th currently, and the Ferraris are at it, are they? Along the main straight, that's because of the gap. Ash gets a move on the Maverick. Most overtakes on that main straight, unless with mistakes. Scott Gay picking up another. That was his first time penalty. But yeah, most of the overtakes come on that straight. It's quite tough to overtake without throwing a dive bomb in there or a mistake from the leading driver. That you do, Atom. That you do. You do know about getting it wrong. I've seen the video of you into Mark at turn 4. Yeah, rain in Portugal is a strange one. You don't think it's possible, but it is. And we've got a retirement from free fall in the pits.
Gonna join you on the comms, mate. It's not been my race. Really struggling with the wet conditions out there. 2 full laps with no front wing after some snaps oversteer through turn 1. So
just quitting while you're
no
ahead,
points
Scott,
in the cards.
Is that just, whilst you've still got your dignity, you're just gonna DNF and.
I'm already a lap down. It's it's not looking good.
Yeah.
So why struggle and get frustrated with myself out there when I can come and have some fun with my good old mate Chimp?
You're still on track, Scott, for some reason, I think.
It'll be the classic Codemasters glitch where the car exits the pits even after you retire in it.
Yep.
Hopefully it pulls off to the side and doesn't give anybody too much bother.
Another time penalty for Aussie, and that's 6 of the top 10. It's a great. Thought Drone had the exit there on F1 Lucky, and now he's got his teammate for company. People really struggling there, Scott, and no one's really. Everyone's staying on track, to be fair with them, but no one's really looking like they're taking corners great, and
it's a very, very tricky track at times, especially in the traction zones, just really compounded with this rain here. Only 2 guys that seem to be confident out there as I see Wuban having a little half spin round turn 4, and that's the car right round.
Don't face that way. Maybe Aston
doing
Martin
well to keep out of the way of the drivers. But yeah, Bailiff and Farrell, the only 2 really seen comfortable out there at the moment.
Yeah, they'll be having a little battle themselves. Although 8 seconds and 5 seconds, even if you're shading, it's 16 seconds behind. You must think a late safety car, and he's going for that win.
Absolutely, and throw in the mix here. We have got reports as well from Jeff and from one of the drivers that's now retired. Funny enough, it's me. That dry weather is on the way at some point during this race. So another change in conditions. They'll need to nail these pit stops. If you go too early, you're going to have cold tyres on a greasy track. It's going to be really difficult to get any temperature and any grip into them. If you go too late, however, you're going to burn out those intermediates and really, really struggle for grip on the other side of things. So it's about nailing that down, and that could be the difference between a first and maybe even 5th or 6th even.
Yeah. Atom's just told me we've been hit with a commentator's curse saying that Hedges, saying that Hedges is doing really well. He's now retired, so he might join us as well, and he might, we might have a 3 comms because there is space for a spectator, isn't there? I don't know whether he can join now or not, but
I'll send him a little invite, see if he wants to join us.
I know he's in the party. He's not in the party, but he's part of the party.
he's got authority to join, shall we say. That would be a very unprecedented race, I suppose. A driver slash commentator and a three-man's comm team. That would be, as well, we did have a three-man's comm team once before, but not quite in the level of me, you and Hedgie.
No, I don't think we're on that level, to be honest.
Absolutely. Got a few battles there out on track though, mate. We've got Bailiff and Farrell, like you said, out the front. We've also got Chugs reserve in for Spyro Rob in that Alfa Romeo tonight. He's currently 7 tenths off the back of F1 Lucky. Our other reserve in for MUFC Harvey. Further back, Wuban is making an assault, or an attempted assault on Wee Cammy for P12. Not quite going his way to cap. Ebbing and flowing as the corners do so themselves. Chugs really using a lot of battery here though. It is on a very much on a normal dry race. Very hard to recover that ERS. You really need the manager and try and make the most of the DRS. Of course, that sort of goes out the window here with these conditions. Higher recovery rate, you've got more battery to play with, and of course DRS isn't a thing. So a nice little change for the drivers here.
Yeah. Is that a Williams? That's yeah, Ash. Yellow flag set to 1. Mowing the lawn. I don't think I've ever raced this track in Cone, to be honest. Or even out of Cone, probably. But to me, it seems that it's all about exits more than actual, speed on track. Sort of, if you can nail your exits, especially at turn 3 and turn 4, I think you'll be up there. We have seen
big ones like
struggle.
yeah. Turn 3 and turn 4, big on the exit zones. We have a yellow flag that looks to be the Aston Martin of Wuban, and that is
the
ESC, second of the day. But yeah, turn 3, turn 4, that uphill left-hander. Very, very easy. You take too much of that curb or get on the throttle too much or just give a little jank, too much steering input, you're going straight across into that left-hand side wall. And then turn 8, the corner you saw me spin at in qualifying, probably one of the most difficult and tricky traction zones on the calendar. Really, really a taste of bravery and a bit of skill. Getting the power down at the right time can save you massive an amount of tenths you get because you get that nice run down the hill. But you go too early, you're off into the wall on the right hand side and potentially even disqualified because you can't spin back round onto the track a few corners before.
We're back racing again, and I was just focusing on the battle between Indian Jesus and Shade and TV for 3rd and 4th, and it looked like Indian Jesus, he had about 50% of battery in the main straight, and he thought he's going to have Shaden here, but Shaden has all of his battery, so he's saving that up really well, and it seems like he's poised just to although he has a spin. Commentator's curse. Welcome to the commentator's curse, everybody.
First time in the comms booth and you're already handing it out.
Yep. Well, I've handed out a few with Hedge's retirement, and then that, saying Shaden's doing really well. Oh, we'll just cheers Shaden. Done me a solid. Indian Jesus, and yeah, it's interesting now. Shaden finds himself in a Ferrari sandwich, and Matt Rowney finds himself in a McLaren sandwich.
P3 to P6, hopefully the positions will find these two constructors battling out on the regular, maybe even higher this coming season. Aussie getting a nice little run here, not quite close enough, although he does think for a little bit of a dive onto Matt Rowney. Matt Rowney defended on the outside into the chicane, but Aussie getting it done. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes that corner is a bit better on a wider line, but it's all about just how confident you are getting on that throttle. A few drivers going into the wets there noticing Wuban pitting for a fresh set of inters, so
let's have a look at get the tyres up. Yeah, we've got Greg, Nima Moody, the Maverick, all pitting onto the wets. Must be all really struggling. They're struggling to hold it down. Indian Jesus just picked up a 10-second time penalty. I don't think that'll stick because I can't see. I think that's just a fault in the game. Whether he's just spun out and accidentally cut a corner, I think he'll have that taken off him. Even though Shaden has overtook him. Now, and no pens for Shaden, so 24 seconds behind. Although you get a safety car here, and could be it with. Could be with a problem for Bailiff and Farrell.
Just having a look at it, yeah. So Indian Jesus, as we see his name going for a spin around that turn 4. Lucky not going right across into the wall there, but of course maybe the lower speeds of the conditions, of course. Definitely time for the wets looking at this track condition here. You've got a lot of puddles on track. That's generally your indicator for the wets to the intermediates. If there's puddles on track, it's probably time for wets. Once them puddles start to go, and it's just a little bit of running water sitting here more on the intermediates. But he has got a 10-second off those 15 for a corner cut warning. So I'm assuming, like you say, he has had a bit of a spin, took too much of the track, and likely to get that removed.
Yeah,
Greg, though, going for a spin, it looks like, as well.
No spins are not nails, Greg.
We do love our Greg, top guy, and
cone icon, I think. Oh, Greg, yeah, he's having another spin there, Greg. you do, Greg.
Greg's game centre. I think the game of the night is Beyblades, with the amount of spinning that he has going on.
Oh, Beyblades, what?
That's a bit of a throwback.
That is a proper throwback.
It's a throwback. Some of our drivers might not even recognise what we're talking about. Of course, the young lads of Xenon or Drone and Aussie RL, and I believe F1 Lucky. Some of our younger drivers in the league, showing there that they can put it up with the old blokes, likes of Farrell, and I'm not going to say Indian Jesus. I'm not quite sure who else. Mean Man Moody. I know he's one of our more senior drivers. Been here a while as well, a legend again. As speaking of the young lad, Drone going down the inside of Craigo into the hairpin. Craigo though getting for the cutback inside line, and F1 Lucky doing a similar manoeuvre to Indian Jesus, but Indian Jesus getting better traction on the outside. Lucky actually losing it a bit and losing out 2 positions on that exit, 1 to Indian Jesus and 1 to Chugs. The Maverick getting lapped here as well, not going well for him.
I actually remember that it's me streaming, and then when I hear you like talk about a battle, I could be miles away from it. Like, see who you're talking about, and try and find the battle. And,
I have that issue myself, mate. A Thursday night in Tier 1, when my good mate Jamie starts talking about a battle, and I'm looking at something completely different.
We're talking about a battle, and I'm just like, yeah, Beyblades, while I'm watching Greg.
Back behind Craigo, this battle for P6, of course, Craigo with the 3-second time penalty. So, not necessarily for position does Drone need to get this move done, but of course, every position he gains now, it gives him open air, clear air to try and push up that track and catch the likes of Matt Rowney. 7 seconds up the road though, bit of a feat of a task, but where is this sun? Speaking of the sun, something yellow flags in Sector 1. How's that for a little analogy there? I think that was the Maverick, a lap down, having a little spin by the looks of things.
All that always seems to have at the moment is Drone on Craigo, or maybe Aussie and his teammate Shaden. But then penalties are coming into it massively, and this track just getting wetter and wetter. Jones picks up a time penalty battle.
Definitely compound any issues he's having. It is his first of the day though, so still doing better than quite a few drivers. Aussie getting that move on Shaden.
Along the main straight is where you're going to find most of the moves. here in Portugal. Maybe a dive bomb in turn 4. But other than that, you're going to find it hard, even harder with all the puddles and the rain. You've got a yellow flag in sector 1. What's that? What's say Williams?
Looks to be an Alpine. I believe that might be Greg. It is Greg going slow. Reverend Melvin going slow as well. Lap apart these two, so not a collision with each other. But I wonder if there was maybe some shenanigans going on there. Of course, cars on different laps can be a little bit distracting with the ghosts and such. So maybe just somebody missing a braking point and having a bit of a spin. Or maybe just lap cars letting cars through.
Yeah, even though we've got ghosting, and you do find sometimes that cars will still just get out of the way just to avoid the ghosting putting people off, because you can't get pens for that. So.
I must admit, that's a interesting route from Mean Man Moody into the pits there, cutting a bit of the last corner, but getting out of the way of the drivers on the last lap, or the lap ahead. Abdus should say so. He is coming into the pits, and it looks to be for a set of intermediates, not finding those weights to do any good, and in fact he's actually retired. So down to 16 runners here in Portugal. 15 will get points as long as they so finish.
Well, if you get 15, you get points, isn't it?
Top 15. One single point available for everybody that finishes down in 15. 40 points for the winner, and a bonus point for the fastest lap for anybody that gets the fastest lap and finishes in the top 10. So, not a guarantee that. You need to not just be quick on one lap, but quick on the overall race pace, and that can be the difference. Having a look at it at the moment, and currently it is going to Bailiff in P2. He is marginally better than Farrell for that fastest lap, of course, likely to be set in the dries in the early part of this race. So unless we get some proper sunshine coming out here in Portugal, unlikely for that to change. Of course, the big thing that could spice up this race later on is them late safety cars. Top 3 all with penalties, particularly Bailiff's 8 and Farrell's 5. A late safety car could have Shaden and Matt Rowney, CRL Mar 14, rubbing their hands with delight.
Yeah, big sport for Matt Rowney in the stream as well. Got Danielle in. Good luck, Bailiff and Cammy. Well, you got the luck's working for Bailiff, Danielle, but not quite for Cammy. He finds himself in 11th. Found himself speeding under the VSC, which it's not a great move, really. And nearest battle on track, as we find Indian Jesus on the back of Craig. We've got another pen there for High Scott Gay. Indian Jesus, 18 seconds of pens. We believe it's going to be just 8 because he has got a 10.
I believe so. Of course, he'll need to submit the clip, and I'm sure there was nothing untoward about it. It was just a bit of a spin from myself, and anytime you go off the track here, the game, it does like to punish you, so likely to get removed in the steward's office. Of course, 10-second penalties can't be served, so he's not going to serve that if he does drop into the pits, but he does have the 5-second, which he would serve. So regardless, he will finish this race with a 10-second penalty, which will make it potentially removable. Suspect to steward's decision. He is lining up the move on Craigo here, using a little bit of that ERS, of course. All the drivers sitting in the 70 to 80%, only really having a blast of it down the main street, but not quite able to get past him. Craigo maybe running slightly lower wings, giving less downforce but superior straight line speed here, keeping that Mercedes in front of the Ferrari. Very reminiscent of the old Vettel Hamilton battles we had a few seasons back, as Craigo having to give up position as Maverick retires in the pits, meaning all 15 drivers, as long as they can bring that car home intact, will receive at least one championship point.
great fight here between Craigo and Indian Jesus. Again, that turn for Indian Jesus having the better traction. I find himself way clear of Craigo now.
Indian Jesus, I like to say, one of the guys stepping down from tier 1 on the pad, jumping onto the wheel, really has got some good pace. Probably similar pace to Farrell on a 1 lap stage, but Farrell having just a bit better consistency. That's the only thing lacking from Indian Jesus at the moment. Expect by the end of the season though to see him up there consistently. Of course, I believe he did win out in Kota, so he has got potential for more wins in the very near future, but tonight not quite going his way. Farrell looking to make another win under his belt and really put a stamp on his championship titles here. Kami down in 11th, our current leader, is looking to take a dent in his chances. Of course, we're only at the halfway mark. He's currently 3 points clear of Bailiff, who is 5 points and 5 points clear of Matt Rowney, and shading not to let the man in the McLaren go under the radar. He's only 12 points adrift of the top step, so really looking in a good position to potentially go P2 here tonight, maybe P3 at the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I've not really been keeping an eye on the championship. I knew Cammy was top somehow, but I know last season he had a good start and fell off. Hopefully, you can keep that up. Because the more people fighting for the championship, the better. Seemed like last season, it came down to 2. It came down to Hedge and AFL. This season, I think it'll be much closer. I think it'll be between maybe even 5 and 6. Up until maybe a few races.
Definitely. I think still with, like you say, 3 or 4 races to go, we'll have maybe 5, 6, maybe even 7, if certain drivers can get their act together in the championship hunt. And then as we progress through races, then 7 will turn to 5, turn to 3, turn to maybe 2, and it'll really separate the men from the boys, those final 2 laps of the final championship season. Of course, we've seen championships go all the way down to the wire. We've seen championships then go and separated by a single point. We've seen one of them, in fact, in I believe it was tier 2 a few seasons ago, separated by 0 points, separated by race wins. So every single point matters here, and every single race matters. Farrell looking good to extend his chances in this. Of course, missing the Brazilian Grand Prix due to a race ban for being a little bit naughty and joining tier 1 uninvited for the tier 1 race on pad. Didn't really win himself any points in there, and sadly meant he didn't win any points at the Brazilian Grand Prix that weekend and left me a teammate down. So, teacher in his day job, you think he'd be a bit more of a role model, especially for the young lads in this grid, but obviously not. Bear showing them how to do it today. 6 seconds clear of Bailiff at the top now. I've got to admit, Jim, this brings me back to last season when I was commentating you and everybody else around in this tier. It is a very, very different tier to commentate than tier 1. A lot more gapped out, a lot more going on, in fact, and a lot more to actually keep an eye on.
Yeah, there's always something happening. Always something happening in tier 4. But less happening because I'm not there. There's usually a lot happening, But it's just nice to be part of a racing league after me banned from head racing.
Well, of course, I believe you still are on the reserve list, so maybe, I do dare say so, we could see you making your return for a CRL Tier 4 race at some point this season, potentially.
I'd love that, mate. I'd absolutely love to be back out there, because I do enjoy it. Yeah, I do love it. Just the whole night and everything. It's brilliant. I never put too much pressure on myself to do much because I'm not great. Enjoying it's the main factor.
That's it. Enjoy it for the occasion. Whatever happens, if you win, lose, try and have as much fun as you can. And You're saying that, you're not the greatest. I've noticed since your initial race in Tier 4 to your final race you did earlier on this season, there is some vast improvement. So even though you might not think too much about it, every single race you learn something. And this is what Tier 4 is all about, these drivers learning something, whether it is how to race in the wheel, or whether it is how to race in league racing in general. That's what this tier is all about. A lot less pressure, a lot less, maybe a little bit less competition, but proving is different this season. Some really, really top drivers in here. Some drivers you would argue should be doing the business in Tier 3, in fact.
Yeah, some will make the step up after this season, no doubt. Interesting fact about my CRL career. I know it's not about me, it's about the 20 people or the 15 people for now that are on track. But I've actually never not scored points in CRL. Believe it or not, Scott. You might find that hard to believe. But every race,
I must admit, that's quite an impressive statistic.
I've at least got a point. You know, Lewis Hamilton's not done that, so basically, technically, I'm a 7-time world champion.
I must admit, I was a little bit reluctant of coming back down to Tier 4 this season, purely because it has really hampered my records in this division. Not just, you're getting yours and I've got to get mine in. Before this season, 3 races in Tier 4, 3 pole positions and 3 podiums. Stats like that, you just, make you a legend in the game, but that was in the pad, this is on the wheel, and there I am down in 19th, so big changes in the world of F1. We can't be getting a run on Craigo though, down the start finish straight, the Williams versus the Mercedes, effectively the junior and the senior team, but Craigo staying ahead. We can be really low on that battery, 5-6%. I'm quite surprised that is hard to burn through battery in the intermediate, so he's been pushing a lot the last few laps. Craigo able to use that 60 to 70% to properly defend his 9th position at the moment. Of course, penalty still to come into play. Cammy having a go down the inside into the chicane, a little bit of minor contact, but of course taking that tighter line, having a bit of a deeper entry really compromises his exit. They are not able to get in the power the same, and Craigo remains ahead.
Yeah, you can see that dive bomb. I was actually following that, believe it or not. You could see that dive bomb from Cammy coming. He's in terms of the moves he makes, he's a lot like Max Verstappen, just not in his result. If he was in his results like Max Verstappen, although he's top of the championship, so I can't really slate him for much. He does get the move back on Craigo though. Another nice exit. We've got a Ferrari. Retired in the pits. I was retired at the start of the pits.
Jesus.
Retired at the start of the pits. I think if we come on board.
Oh, and it's a full-on safety car. This is really going to spice up the race. How has he managed that?
Matt Rowney for the win.
I was wondering that. Indian Jesus, P7, of course, a lot of penalties. Did have 10 seconds, which is light removal. This is really going to spice up this race here. Really playing into the detriment. Sorry, I'm going all Tier 1 in you now, chimp. Really going to spice up this. 9 seconds for Aussie in P3, 8 seconds for Bailiff in P2, 5 seconds for Farrell in P1. Shaden in a great position, P4 with 3 seconds, but not as good as Matt Rowney in P5. No penalties. I'm just going to check his warnings. I believe he is pretty low on the warnings as well from when I last checked. So really all to play for. Lap 30 here, so only 3 laps to go. We're guaranteed at least 2 laps of racing, so this grid's going to have to reform very, very quickly to allow the racing to get underway and get that grid all packed up. Big thing for Farrell here. He's jumped into the pits and actually served his 5-second time penalty, so maybe not as bad for him as he expected. Bailiff, I believe, doing the same to serve his 5 seconds. And actually, some of the guys now starting to go onto those softs. The rain easing off, the grid patching up a bit. And Aussie, what has Aussie done there? I don't know if that was a late call into the pits or a bit of a half spin. But part of that front end of that McLaren has taken a bit of a tumble. Some of the cars though, Matt Rowney, Shaden, staying out on the intermediates. This will be really, really tasty here at the end. Farrell versus Matt Rowney essentially for the win because of the penalties. Intermediates, 24 laps against fresh softs on a drying circuit. I think the softs will have the advantage here. You can see that rain really easy off that track starting to dry out. But what an end to this Grand Prix, Chimp.
Yeah, an exciting end. You always said a late safety car, and it'd make it interesting with all these penalties. We might even only have one lap of racing here, Scott, with in terms of people needing to catch up and whatnot.
See, I thought it was hard-coded into the game to give at least 2 at the end.
Was it?
It is hard-coded, so Matt Rowney and Shaden just going to catch up. Kami may just catch the pack if he's quick enough. Aussie and Co really needing the push on. Chugs not looking too good. He's picking up a 3-second time penalty and has got quite the gap to catch up before the end of the lap. So really it's looking like a shootout between the top 8 for final positions. The only 3 without pens. Farrell on those fresh softs at the front, looking in prime position now. Matt Rowney on the intermediates, and Kami also on the intermediates, P3 and P5. That track really drying out quick like it does in this game. And in fact, Aussie and Zenon not going to catch up. There looks to have been a little bit of shenanigans under the safety car there. Farrell dropping positions massively. I don't know if that was a half spin or what's happened there. Kami really jumped up. That could be one for the stewards. I don't know if you caught that there, Chimp.
Yeah, I'm unsure there, because Kami seemed to go past everyone way before the line. I've got contact between Shaden and Bailiff. Shaden might have Kami here. I think he will. Again, it just comes to this exit here. Here comes Farrell, here comes Bailiff. This is a great battle between these 4. 2 soft runners, 2 intermediate runners. And here comes a soft runner on the outside, Bailiff, and it makes the move. Yeah, I'm unsure what Kami was doing there. He was in 5th and he jumped 4 of them.
It's a strange one. Farrell having a spin. Shaden having a spin as well. Kami currently in P4 on those inters, really having to go aggressive. Just not going to have the grip round here, as has Matt Rowney. But these 3 currently on for pin, as Kami has lost it.
It was the big time there, Kami. By the way, Drone is 2nd now. He's come from nowhere. But yeah, he has got 3 seconds. So whether I think Farrell might even have him here.
Farrell might have him, and I think Matt Rowney's just going to lose out with going on the inters. Quick pit onto the softs, and we could have been saying a completely different story here, but this track really drying out. Yeah, it's still a little bit greasy, but it's still so much quicker just to be on those red striped softs right now. We're on the final lap though. Aussie and Bailiff and Drone, 3 seconds apart, both with 3 seconds of penalty. How is Aussie on the penalty front? I believe he is a little bit worse for wear. He has 9 seconds. So currently, as it stands, Bailiff is on for the win at the moment, followed by, I believe, Farrell, followed by Drone. So this could be very tasty. Matt Rowney has really got the push round this final sector here. He's really struggling to see those gaps jumping down on the intermediates. But it is going to be Bailiff to cross the line for what is a provisional win here in Portugal. And will stay that way. Farrell getting P2, Drone at P3, Aussie P4. Matt Rowney on the intermediates, making the mistake not to pit at the end there. He will cross the line for P5. Chugs in P6, the reserve in for Spider Rob. Reverend Melvin in the Alpha Tauri P7, with Craigo P8 for Mercedes. F1 Lucky currently crossing in P9, but if Kami can get his car around quick enough, he will jump position on him. Again, another one on those intermediates, and he does jump to P9. F1 Lucky 10, Shaden 11, Wuban 12, I Scott Gay 13, and Greg's Game Centre will be the last to finish. 1 lap down on his nearest competitor, but still Peen team.
Yeah, Bailiff takes the win, and he'll go top of that championship.
I said we can't be losing up massive points to the likes of Bailiff, to the likes of Farrell, even Matt Rowney really will spice up the table a little bit. Shall we do interviews?
We'll do interviews, why not? It's tradition,
I'll let you take the lead. I will get the guys on the podium into the party.
Yeah,
and we'll go from there. So, Bailiff. Farrell. And Drew. This will be a funny one with Farrell, of course. My teammate, I'm sure he'll have...
Yeah, I know what my first question is.
Just to get them in. I've had a bit of a nightmare here. I forgot how to spell Xenon. It's not in my day-to-day vocabulary, I must admit. Battlefield, there we go. So while we add our podium, let's take you down through the grid quickly again. Bailiff winning, Farrell second, Xenon in third, Ozzy, Matt Rowney, Chugs, River, Melvin, Craigo, and I believe we Cammy and F1 Lucky rounding off your top 10. We do have a few of the podium sitters sitting in the chat right now. Chimp, as the main comms, as the main man, the legend that you are, I'll hand over to you to get underway with
who do we start off with? I don't know who got third. We'll start off with third. Who got third? It was Drone, wasn't it?
It was Drone. Start off with Drone, P3.
Drone, P3. You seem to come from nowhere there. Was it just a case of driving through the wet weather and staying clear of the pens?
Well, it was a bit of a wet, dry mixing setup, so I wasn't really too sure of how it was going to perform, which it was absolutely amazing driving through the wets. I got a bit of a speed advantage on a few people, and then off the restart, I don't know what happened, but I got a few people spun and I just went through them as if, because they'd all came off the track and I went through them, P2 on track, and then obviously Fowler got me with the penalties.
Yeah, well, things have got to go your way. I think we had a spin from Shade and a spin from someone else up the top, which I think got you into... was Cammy? Yeah, because he came through on the safety car, didn't he? But P3, is that how many points is P3?
P3 is 28 points, so a solid haul for you tonight, mate. Very, very solid. I believe is that your second podium of the season, am I right in saying?
That is my first of the season.
First of the season. A second in Cone, of course, you got your first initial win in Austria last season, another solid drive there, another one adding to the table. 28 points tonight will see you clear up to 103 points. Not a great deal off the top boys at the top. Second half of the season, championship title on the card, or you think maybe a little bit off yet?
Start of the season, me and my original teammate from last season in AFL, we were talking about, and Spider, and we were talking about if we were able to get the championship, how close we'd be. And I thought I'd have a chance until I saw that you were here, Farrell was here. So, I still think I could potentially get a few points, maybe get top 3, but I think championship win is out of the box at this point. It's just, compared to the top of tier 4, it's just way too quick for me.
I consider you one of the fast ones, Joe, so...
I like the honesty. You've definitely got some pace about you. Maybe just a little, likes of today. little bits of inconsistency. I know it's a little tweak to go for 3 second the penalty. Without that, you'd definitely be up to the win. But you proved at the end today that anything can happen, and definitely, I don't think it'll be the last time you'll be on the podium this season. We'll move on to P2, Mr. Farrell Fury, my teammate. I can't wait to do this interview, mate.
Farrell Fury, this is my first question, right? Do you feel like a one-man team at the moment with your teammate?
Absolutely, but my teammate's
he's letting you down.
After he was a lap down, and then today it was so much easier, like focusing on the battle with Bailiff, which was class for about 25 laps, and not having a little Scottish midget shouting at me the whole time.
It was almost a sort of, mix and match of last week, of course, where you really didn't for mistakes in the final few laps. This time it was me making mistakes, so we'll go week in, week out.
I didn't make any mistakes. I got killed last week. You were a lap down. Like, you're absolutely, I'm just carrying you at this stage, Sky.
The big second half coming. Might whip the pad out and just show you how it's done, because I was always better than you on the pad, eh?
Yeah, Div 2 driver, cool.
Anyway, mate, back to the race, quickly.
Yeah, I'm holding you back here.
Back to the race. Without getting into any sort of, how would you say, any sort of controversy, what happened in the safety car restart there?
Without getting into too much controversy, it was racism. Standard from this league. They just don't want to have an Irish boy winning this. So all of the drivers decided that they'll overtake on their safety car, which you can't do. So yeah, I don't know what happened. About 5 of them went past me, and then today I actually decided to qualify well, rather than come through the field like I normally do, by sweating that, and to keep away from all the madness. And then all of a sudden people got near me on the safety car restart, gave me damage, so I couldn't keep up. And then a race that I had completely under control was about 10 seconds clear before the safety car, and ended up screwing me. So yeah,
well, that's F1, unfortunately, Farrell. And at the end of the day, F1 wins, really, doesn't it?
No.
So, no, it does.
Bailiff wins.
No, F1's the winner.
And opens up this championship lead. But no, in fairness, before that, like, the battle with Bailiff all race was sick. So it was so intense, as I said. Just had to concentrate and just stare at the screen for the whole time, like it was mad.
I suppose my big question for you, how are your ankles feeling being in that drawer for the last 45 minutes or so?
Man, I didn't notice them until the safety car. And then all of a sudden I was like... because I was just so focused on just being behind Bailiff and just short shifting and everything like that. Like, it was just mad. The whole race, it was just so intense. And just trying not to spin out the whole time, like, it was so easy to lose it here. But yeah, then as soon as the safety car came out, I was like, oh no, this is pain.
Oh, another good result though. Definitely a title challenge. I'm not even going to ask you about that, because I already know what your ambitions are. 33 solid points though.
I want to win this division by more points than anyone ever has done in history.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a few drivers trying to stop you. Which here with his Bailiff, another win, mate. Maybe a little bit fortunate. I know you've said already it should have been Farrell's, but
yeah,
I'm sure you won't complain at that.
No, I don't know what the hell went on that restart. He was waving. I didn't get a green on my screen, and then all of a sudden I saw Lucky and Wee-Cammy come flying past, so I just hit the throttle and thought, if they're going, I'm going. And then I think I just got lucky by going around outside of I think it was Shaden and Cammy on the inters going up the hill, and I was on the dry, so I just thought I'm going to have the grip, so I just went around the outside of them, and I think Farrell was stuck on the inside, so I thought, right, I've got a lap to try and gain 3 seconds on Farrell, because I knew he had no penalties, so...
Doing it very well, getting onto the softs at the right time. Some of the drivers opting for the intermediates. Good bit of race control, of course, a few penalties here and there, letting you down at some points. Both of you running with 5-second penalties at one point, but getting the niceties to serve under the safety car. Chimp, I'm going to hand it back to you, mate. I've kind of took over here. You're the main man here tonight.
No, mate, you do you. I'm not the main man. You know, Scott, you're always the main man. But I don't really have a question for you, Bailiff. So, I didn't really watch you most of the race because you were just up there doing your thing. So
Yeah.
if you had a dinner party and you had to invite 3 people, who would you invite?
What, from this tier?
No, dead or anyone, dead or alive, anyone. Just,
Anyone?
we're just mixing it up here in CRL. Yeah,
Obviously yourself. For the
all right,
bands.
yeah, I appreciate that. Okay.
Scotty just for the accent, obviously.
Okay.
Love
No
that.
celebrities in there apart from me and Scott.
What celebrity do you want in here, boys?
It's your dinner party, mate. You do you.
Maybe a bit of J-Lo or something like that, you know. Maybe. I
J-Lo?
don't know.
Yeah. No, I'd be
Uh,
happy if she came.
I must admit, Chimp, I was a bit disappointed in that question. I hope it was going to be the Time Old Classic. If you were a shape, which shape would you be?
Well, I think I've already asked that, Bailiff, before, you see. Have a Bailiff.
No, I don't think you have.
All right, if
No,
you're
that
a
was in
shape.
that was in a game of Among Us,
Oh,
which
yeah,
we
it
voted
was.
out Peas as the imposter using that question.
Yeah, because he said, well, I don't know. And we were like, all right, well, if you don't know what shape you're going to be, you're an imposter. It works. It's a good
okay, I
tactic.
see.
He wasn't an imposter, but it's a tactic. If you're like, why are you going to be a square? That's a bit sus. So,
Just a quick one then, Farrell. If you were going to be a shape, what shape would you be?
His mic's muted.
Oh,
Drone,
well,
are you
thanks for
there?
that, Farrell.
Drone, are you there? Drone.
Yes,
Johnson.
hello.
Drone, if you're a shape, if you could choose to be a shape, what shape would you choose to be?
A hexagon.
Oh, very. I like that. Out there. Bit different.
Came to my
Bit
head.
different.
Because I'm never consistent within my races, so yeah.
Well, I
First
appreciate
thing to
that.
ask.
That's good honesty, that, and a very good shape. I appreciate that. So, we're signing off for round 7. There were the interviews. That was the race. Absolute pleasure. And I'll hopefully see everyone's faces and voices soon enough. But for now, we're signing off. Scott, sign off.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you for all of our drivers for competing here tonight in round 7 of CRL Tier 4. We will be back on Thursday night. You can catch myself and the legendary Jamie Indigo at 8:30 p.m. for Tier 1. You can also catch Cool Dude Boy Jonathan and Hedgehog 11 at 7:30 for the Tier 2. Next week, though, we'll be taken to the track of Catalonia in Spain. Tier 4 back here again at 8 p.m. next Monday, with Tier 3 kicking off at 7:30 p.m. next Monday. I've been CRL Freefall, your racer and commentator, sort of just running here tonight, joined by the wonderful, funny Oz Chimp that is an absolute legend, and hope to see him back in the grid here. But from me, it has been a good evening and a good night, and wish you all the best for the rest of your week.
Chimpy, signing off. See you next week.